Okay, guys, we are going to talk about a comedy today. A not very good comedy called Superman 3. Hey, everybody, this is David, and today I am going to talk to you all about my thoughts on Superman 3, the movie starring Christopher Reeve and co starring Richard Pryor? That's right, Richard Pryor is in this movie with Superman. For those of you that don't know, Richard Pryor was a very popular comedian back in the 70s and 80s, maybe the 90s. I don't know, but he was a very popular comedic actor and comedian in general. And I'm going to talk to you about Superman 3, which co starred him with Superman, and what I thought about it. So, first of all, when you're talking about Superman 3, you got to talk about the man of the hour himself, Superman, Clark Kent. Christopher Reeve once again plays this role, and he plays it great as usual. You know, Christopher Reeve as Superman can do no wrong. The problem with the movie is not Superman, but his co-star Richard Pryor, who is playing a character called Gus Gorman, and he is recruited by the Websters to, create some machine that can alter, I don't know, that can do anything apparently, even create kryptonite. So the problem with this movie is that a lot of people feel it's more of a Richard Pryor film than an actual Superman film. For me, I don't mind it. I actually find some bits of the movie pretty funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but a few chuckles here and there. But for the most part, yeah, a lot of the laughs fall short. And unfortunately, yeah, you want to see more of Superman. When Richard Pryor is on screen, you don't care because not that Richard Pryor isn't a good actor, but it's because you're here to see Superman. You're not here to see Superman and some other guy that we don't give a crap about. With that being said, I still think the movie is okay. I still think when it does focus on Superman, we get this love story between him and Lana. Lana was Clark's love from high school. And it's actually cool that this movie actually got to focus a little bit on Lana because they kind of glossed over her a little bit in Superman 1 and then went straight to Lois, which is the more important romance anyways. But now that, we had the first two Superman movies established on Lois and Clark's relationship, now we can have a little bit more fun with other characters. And one of those other characters was Lana Lang, here played by Annette O'Toole. Some of you might remember that Annette O'Toole played Martha Kent on Smallville. So that was really cool, finding that out years later, that, hey, but the actress who plays Martha Kent on Smallville used to be the original Lana Lang. Lana also has a kid in this movie. And to me, whatever, it's fine. The kid, I get why he's there for, to maybe give Superman hope that maybe he can have a family with Lana one day, have already an established kid, even though it's not really his kid, but it's somebody else's kid, but the father was a deadbeat and left Lana a long time ago, leaving the kid there and her alone. So Clark is kind of this father figure for this kid. So that was really nice. They did add this Brad character who I guess was the comic relief, but why do you have Richard Pryor there if you already... And he wasn't very funny. He was just an annoying character that's like the bully, I guess you could say. So if we got Lana in this movie, what about Lois? What's going on with Lois? Sadly, because Margaret Kidder at the time wasn't really planning on returning because she didn't like how the producers had treated Richard Donner from the first film, she kind of gave the indication that she wasn't going to return for this film, so her role was very limited. Perry and Jimmy, you can expect what you will from them, just like the last two movies. They're very rarely used, and when they are, okay, it's cool, it's Jimmy and Perry. The villains of this story, however, are kind of the weak point. Just like Gus Gorman, who, yeah, he's an alright character. We got Ross Webster and his two minionesses. And, they're okay characters, I guess. They have their hits and misses. The girl, I don't remember the girl's name, is very annoying. She's like the younger girl. There's I forgot her character's name, but there's Vera Webster, which is Ross Webster's sister, who they refer to her as the ugly one. And then Ross Webster is this business tycoon who clearly is supposed to be like a Lex Luthor type character. Funny enough, the Lex Luthor, played by Gene Hackman, was, I believe, supposed to return for this movie, but I think Gene Hackman, they couldn't get him back due to scheduling conflicts or something, so that's why we didn't get him back. Something that is memorable about this movie is the Superman versus Clark Kent fight. During the movie, Superman is affected by this kryptonite that Gus Gorman creates, that he doesn't know one of the ingredients that's in kryptonite, so he guesses it's tobacco. And obviously tobacco, smoking is bad for you kids, so you turn evil if you get affected by kryptonite with tobacco in it, I guess. Well, it does for Superman anyways. And so there's this really cool fight between Clark Kent and Superman because eventually they split apart after Superman is evil and does bad things. They split apart and they have this big fight in the garbage dump. And that's actually a scene that's actually memorable for a lot of people. I had read up that the original plan for this movie was to use Brainiac and Bizarro as well as Supergirl. And even though you don't see no signs of how Supergirl could fit in this movie, you do kind of see signs that maybe Brainiac and Bizarro could have used. I think the garbage dump scene could have easily, the evil Superman aspect could have easily been Bizarro, while the machine aspect, that the machine that could do anything Gus Gorman asks it to do, maybe that was sort of a representation of Brainiac in some sort of fashion. So with all that being said, guys, I'm left here to say that I think Superman 3 is an okay film. I think it gets a lot more flack than it deserves, but yeah, I'm not going to argue with anybody that doesn't like it. I'm going to actually agree with them in probably a lot of aspects. This isn't a perfect film, and with that, I am giving Superman 3 a 6 out of 10, a very low score, almost 5, maybe. I'm going to give it 6. I'm going to give it a passable score. Whenever I watch it, I think I'm okay with it. Is it perfect? Not at all. But I do find moments of enjoyment that I like, especially with the Clark and Lana scenes. I like those moments. I like a lot of the moments, like the garbage dump scene with Clark versus Superman. I think that's pretty cool. The final battle is very weak, but other than that, guys, I think it's an okay film. If you haven't checked out Superman 3, but you like the first Superman movies, check it out. It's nothing gonna hurt. I am going to say something, though. Something that really hurts this film is it's probably the Superman film that feels the most outdated. It really, especially the technology they use a lot of computers in the movie, and the computers look so, it doesn't even look like 90s technology. It definitely looks like something from before a lot of people were born. And so I am going to leave it at that. I think those are my thoughts. I don't know whether to recommend this movie or not. Like I said, if you like the first two Superman movies, go for it. If you didn't, then this movie is definitely not going to win you over. And if you thought this movie was bad, if you saw it and you thought this movie was horrible, wait until we get to Superman 4. That's all I'm going to say. So until next time, guys, take care.